Welcome to the Blindfold Chess Podcast. 10 episodes ago, we looked at some puzzles. This week, we're going to be trying a couple more. These puzzles are not necessarily ordered in terms of difficulty. In fact, the first one I would consider to be the hardest one. But each of these provide key endgame elements that do occur in games. With enough practice, you'll be able to visualize the solution without needing to think to solve them. You can simply look at the board and say, this is winning, this is a draw, or this is losing. Our first puzzle today examines pawn promotion against kings. The goal is to visualize the solution before the moves are called out. So pause the podcast to work out the solution if you need to. Now if we're ready, here are the piece placements. Position 1. White has a pawn on b5. White's king is on c6. Black's king is on a7. Again, that is, white has a pawn on b5. White's king is on c6. And black's king is on a7. Now feel free to work out the solution before moving on. I will wait approximately 10 seconds before giving the solution.
One, king to c7. King to a8. 2, king to b6. King to b8. 3, king to a6. King to a8. 4, pawn to b6. King to b8. 5, pawn to b7. King to c7. 6, king to a7. King to c6. Pawn to b8, promote to queen. Black resigns.
The first puzzle required you to push the black king out of the corner, but you need to be careful in order to avoid the stalemate traps that can occur on either a8 if you move the king to the wrong square, or on b8 if you just push the pawn straight forward. But you made it through the first one. Now on to the second one. Position 2. White has a pawn on e5. White has a king on d6. Black has a pawn on e6. And black has a king on f5. Again, that is, white has a pawn on e5. White has a king on d6. Black has a pawn on e6. And black's king is on f5. Now there are two questions arising from this position. If it is white to move, who is winning? Second, if it is black to move, who is winning? I'll give you approximately 10 seconds to consider the solution on this one. The first solution is with white to move, and the second is with black to move.
One, king to e7. King captures e5.
And now black to move.
One. King to e4. 2. King captures e6.
This puzzle is an example of mutual zugzwang. Whoever is to move in this position loses the game. Both players are attacking their opponent's pawn and defending their own. That means whoever's move it is needs to step away from their own pawn, allowing their opponent to capture. From there, your opponent will be in a position to win the game. In the show notes, I have attached a link if you would like more zugzwang practice. There are quite a few good puzzles in that one. The final puzzle we are looking at today looks at rook and pawn promotion. There are a couple more pieces on the board, so let's give it a go. Position 3. White has a pawn on a7. White has a rook on a8. White's king is on f2. Black has a rook on a1. And black's king is on f6. Again, that is white has a pawn on a7. White has a rook on a8. White's king is on f2. Black has a rook on a1. And black's king is on f6. I'll give you about 10 seconds before I provide the solution. Good luck.
One. Rook to f8 check. King to g7. 2. Pawn to a8 promote to queen. Rook captures a8. 3. Rook captures on a8. Black resigns.
This one was fairly straightforward. White can simply check the black king, leveraging the checking distance in order to promote their pawn, and then transition into a winning rook endgame. For an added challenge, though, let's look at the exact same position. However, instead of the black king being on f6, the black king is going to start the position on e7. That's the only piece we're going to move, is the black king. Instead of being on f6, they will be on e7. Best of luck.
One. Rook to h8. Rook captures a7. 2. Rook to h7 check. King e8. 3. Rook captures a7. Black resigns.
So the objective of the puzzle is still the same. White would like to promote their a7 pawn. However, they cannot attack the king directly. They have to go to the edge of the board and check them from the side, which gives black the time to capture the a7 pawn, but that minor victory is short-lived as white will pick up the black rook that is now on a7, leading to the same rook endgame that white will win. So that is all that we have time for this week. Way to make it through these 4 different puzzles. Join us next time, where we will continue to work on our blindfold capabilities, and we'll look at games and puzzles of the masters.